What is up, YouTube? Dottz Gaming here, and today I'm showing you guys my newest Stamina Nightblade PvP build, which I'm calling the Shadow. Now, while my Age in a Stealth build that I used mostly during Dragon Bones, it did transition into Summerset, is still viable. For the way that I play and the way that I like to do things, the build was a little bit too squishy for me. The combination of Eternal Hunt, Selene / Bloodspawn, Agility, Asylum, Greatsword, Master's Bow. It's still a great setup. Still works really, really well. But for solo play, in my opinion, right now, with how the game is and how ZOS has been trending the game with the gear sets that they've been doing, the buffs that they've been putting in place, you need to be on the tankier side for solo PvP, in my opinion. And I do know a lot of people who do agree with me. So I wanted to find a way to set up my stamblade in a much better way for Summerset. I did try my Agent of Stealth build on him, and for me, it was too much like when I was playing solo and outnumbered and stuff, it was like the second I made a mistake, I got wrecked. And I was like, I need to put something tankier on. I need to be able to live through other people's stuff. When people do outplay me a little bit, I need to be able to live and to survive. But I, obviously still need to make sure I have enough damage to be able to kill people. And this setup accomplishes just that. Now, like all PvP related things, if you don't like the setup, if you think the setup is bad, you don't have to put it on. No one's holding a gun to your head telling you must wear this gear set, you must wear it in this way. This is just what I do. This is just what works for me. And if you think it's bad, well, then that's your problem. But this, I found a lot of good success with. I posted a lot of good highlights on my YouTube channel of me playing this build. So if you do want to go see some gameplay footage, you could go watch my ESO montages and stream highlights playlist, and there's a ton of BG games on this build. But moving right into it, we are wearing two pieces of Troll King. I have moved away from an offensive monster set and instead moved to a defensive monster set, and Troll King is one of the best options. If after you heal a friendly target below 50% health, which does include yourself, health recovery is increased by 15-12 for 10 seconds. So it gives you some group utility and then helps you out a lot. When you're stealth, having this high amount of health recovery just really can help you reset a fight really nicely. Helps keep you alive with the rest of the hots that are incorporated into the build, and just really, really adds a lot of defensive capability. If you don't like Troll King, you could also run Bloodspawn. That is another option. But I just think between Rally, Resolving Vigor, and Troll King, you have a lot of hots running on you, and you're very, very tanky, especially compared with the other gear set we have. And that is 5 pieces of Impreg, one of my new favorite sets for my Stamina Nightblade. Gives a line of health, stamina, magicka, and then 2,500 critical resistance. So between the number of impenetrable pieces I have, Impreg, and my CP, we sit at a little over 4,400 critical resistance, which makes us insanely tanky, and it gives us a very well-balanced stat profile, boosting all of our resource pools, so it's really, really good. And then paired with that, I decided to pair Spriggans. Spriggans offers 2 lines of max stam, a line of weapon damage, and then a crap ton of physical penetration. Spriggans, again, it just offers so much damage and offers so much penetration. And there are a lot of people who think similarly to me, who are like, we need to be tankier this patch. So a lot of people are building tankier to survive the higher damage that is being seen, and Spriggans helps chop through those people. And then Spriggans even helps you chop through squishier targets, because they're going to have like basically no resistances between the amount of penetration in your rings, from Spriggans, the amount of penetration we're getting from our CP, and then the amount of penetration we get from our major fracture from our spammable. You're able to do so much damage through the amount of pen that you have in this build. And then on our back bar, we are running the Master's Bow, of course, which increases your weapon damage by 300-1 against targets affected by poison injection. So it just helps enable a lot more weapon damage on the build that it would not have otherwise. And it's such a good set to wear in the back bar. You don't necessarily need the Spriggans 5-piece on the back bar. So having the Master's Bow just really, really helps enable a lot of burst pressure. If you don't have the Master's Bow, then, feel free to use a Spriggans Bow on the back bar. That'll be perfectly fine. But once you can get the Master's Bow, I'd highly, highly recommend it. And plus, one of the things I do like about Spriggans as a second 5-piece set on this build is the fact that the 2 lines of weapon, or the 2 lines of max stamina are in the first 2 lines. So when you do switch to your back bar, you still have the same amount of stamina as you do on your front bar. You just lose a little bit of weapon damage and some penetration, but you maintain the same stamina pool on both your front and back bar. Now, similarly to how on my Dragon Knight, I love the combination of Bloodspawn and Shackle Breaker because you can pair a billion things with it and make a good build. The same thing goes for Troll King and Impreg on a Stamblade. If you don't like Spriggans, you don't have to wear Spriggans. You could wear Bone Pirate. You could wear Shackle Breaker. You have so many different things that you could put on. It's a really long list. I'm not going to go through all of the alternate options, but just know that as long as you have like Impreg and Troll King, you can pair a lot of other stuff with it. Now, in terms of traits, enchants, and all that good jazz, I believe I am running, let's count it up here, 4 pieces of Impen and 3 pieces of Well Fitted. Who the heck is this guy attacking me? Oh, what's up, man? So we have 3 pieces of Well Fitted and 4 pieces of Impenetrable. And then our jewelry, we have 2 Robust, 1 Infused. Enchant-wise, we are running, I believe, 2 Prismatics. The rest is Stamina. And then for our jewelry enchants, we have 1 Magicka Recovery, 1 Stamina Recovery, and Infused Weapon Damage. So that is what we are running on our jewelry. For our front bar, you want to use an axe. You absolutely want to use an axe on your front bar, Nirnhoned, with double dot poisons. Double dot poisons plus the axe bleed is an insane amount of sustained pressure. I highly recommend it. I don't think sword or mace will be nearly as good as axe in this situation. And I just definitely recommend Nirnhoned axe on your front bar. Trust me, definitely worth it for the sustained pressure. And then obviously back bar, we have an infused master's bow. In terms of our, I'm actually going to do skills first, and I'll go back to that other stuff. So, skills. We have our gap closer is going to be Stampede. If you want to run ambush, go ahead. I prefer Stampede. I just like the snare that Stampede gives. I think it's really, really strong. It's cheaper than ambush, and I know the counter to this as well, Dottz, you know, ambush gives you your class passives, you know, from assassination. But I think the amount that you gain from the class passives through having 1 more assassination ability slotted does not outweigh the strength of the snare from Stampede. That's just my opinion. I've used both, and I vastly prefer Stampede. Both are really, really good. I leave it up to you to choose what gap closer you want, but I personally prefer Stampede. I have problems with ambush sometimes. I don't know. It has a cool animation, but for me, I like Stampede better. Surprise attack is your basic spammable, deals damage, major fracture, and then attacking with surprise attack while sneaking or invisible stuns for 4.6 seconds and then sets them off balance for 5 seconds, which plays really, really well into our champion points. So surprise attack is staple. Rally is our major source of major brutality and a massive heal on your front bar. It's the reason why 2H is so good, so you got to be running this. Relentless Focus. I actually enjoy using this on a Stamblade. I didn't enjoy Merciless Resolve on my Magblade, but I do enjoy Relentless Focus on the Stamblade because of the role it plays in the Stamblade kit. It offers minor endurance, minor berserk, so 8% stam recovery, or 8% damage done, and 10% stam recovery. Very, very nice. But the thing I like about Relentless Focus on a Stamblade is that it offers extra. You can kill without it, but if you have a really tough to kill target, you can weave this into a burst combo and hit for massive, massive damage. Okay? On a Magblade, you're more reliant on Assassin's Will as like one of your main damage sources, but for a Stamblade, Assassin's Scourge just adds extra burst to your burst combo. Like it's extra. It's the cherry on top. And I just think right now, especially with the fact that there is no more cast time on the bow, it's definitely worth running. It hits super hard because if you do a combo of surprise attack, which gives a lot of damage and puts up major fracture, hit him with an incapacitating strike, which is our ultimate, which will deal damage, stun if you didn't stun them from stealth, and then increase your damage done by 20% and put up Major Defile. Then fire the bow, which will then deal 20% increased damage. That will kill or nearly kill a lot of targets, and if you do get them to down to 25% or below, you hit them with the Killer's Blade, which is our execute, and you will take them down. Now, I get questions out the yin-yang. Dottz Gaming, why are you running Killer's Blade instead of Executioner? Honestly, I just prefer it. When you get to somebody below to 25% health and you start hitting this, it is extremely difficult to recover from it. It's so difficult to recover from it. You also, when you do kill somebody with this, you do gain Executioner. When an enemy dies within 2 seconds of being damaged by one of your assassination abilities, you restore 1876 stamina or magicka, whichever is higher. So between that, the fact that it deals so much freaking damage below 25%, and it heals you for 25% max health when you execute somebody, I like what it offers. I really enjoy what the skill offers. You know, that big heal, I think people overlook it, and it really allows you to stay offensive if you can execute somebody, right? If you're 1v2, 1v3, and you execute someone, that's a 25% heal. That's nothing shake a stick at. But I am by no means saying that Executioner is bad. Executioner is also an amazing execute. I know some Stamblades prefer Executioner over Killer's Blade. It starts scaling at 50%. You know, will obviously deal more damage at 26% than something like Killer's Blade, which doesn't start scaling until 25%. But, you know, you don't get any assassination passives. You don't get the big heal. I don't know if it costs more. It costs a tiny bit more. So, again, it's just what you prefer. Stampede and Killer's Blade versus Assassins versus Executioner and Ambush. It's personal preference. Personal preference. Really, just use what you like. And then obviously I explained why Incap is so good. 70 ultimate for all of that stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Back bar, we have Poison Injection, which gives us more dot pressure for more sustain, and it acts as a secondary execute. Starts ticking harder when they're below as they get lower, below 50% health, and it also helps with our master bow. I'm going to skip over Shade. We have Shuffle, which is our form of major evasion, and also gives us snare immunity and root immunity, and gets us out of those situations. So got to run it as a medium armored build, which, by the way, I did not mention. We are running a 5-1-1 setup. We have 1 heavy, 1 light, and 5 medium. Let me go back to skills here. We also have Shadowy Disguise, which is our cloak. Don't need to really explain that. Resolving Vigor is staple stamina heal in every build. Heals you, and then heals you for some extra over time and some allies. So really, really good. The back bar ultimate. For the longest time, I had the Werewolf ultimate slotted. Actually, for this build, I would recommend either the Werewolf ultimate or Soul Siphon. It's really up to you what you prefer. Werewolf ultimate will give you more recovery on the back bar, and then moving into Wolf Hunter will allow you to run Werewolf form. But if you do run Soul Siphon, you do get a burst heal, and you get more magic on your back bar. Really up to you what you prefer. I'm a vampire now on this guy, stage 1. I keep it at stage 1 so that I don't suffer any of the drawbacks, because I have a ganking build that I like to play, but whenever I play this build, I just stage it down to stage 1. But if you're, this is the only build you're going to be playing on your toon and you don't ever plan on doing any ganking or whatever, just be a mortal or be a werewolf. It will be much more beneficial. But if you just be a mortal, Soul Siphon. If you want to be a werewolf, Werewolf ultimate on your back bar. The last ability on this back bar is Shadow Image. Let me tell you, when you learn how to use this skill properly and you really start moving it into your kit, it's really hard to play without, because the mobility that it offers is absolutely insane. You get minor maim up on a target for 20 seconds, which is awesome, 15% damage reduction, but for that duration, you're able to teleport back to your shade at any time. And if you're not able to, you just put down another one, and you can also place this down out of combat without a target. You can get, this ability basically allows you to get out of situations that you would not be able to escape otherwise. I can't speak enough about this. I've played without it in the past and didn't think I need it, but now that I really learned how to properly use and utilize this skill, I could not possibly recommend it to you enough. So if you're not using this on your stamblade, especially for a 2H bow stamblade, I would definitely give it a try. In terms of other stuff, we are running the Serpent Mundus, Dubious Cameron Throne Food, and Tri-Stat Potions, and I already explained the whole Vampirism Werewolf thing. In terms of our stats and what they're looking like, on our back bar, we have 13.5k max Magicka, about 24k max health, and 35.8k max stam. Sitting at, this is obviously low for our back bar, but about 1800 weapon damage on our back bar, 34% weapon crit. 1946 stam recovery with 874 mag recovery, and like I said, 4400 crit resist. But the front bar is where things get fun. We drop down a little bit to 12.6k max Magicka. These stats are relatively similar. We have a little bit less health on our front bar than we do on our back bar, but not much of a difference. And then we shoot up to 35% weapon critical, which is a little bit more than we had on our back bar. And then we have 2457 weapon damage, which I think is very solid. Especially if you consider the amount of consistent pressure we have from bleeds and poisons. And then you take into account that we have 2457 weapon damage with the amount of penetration we have as well. We're fine. We have no problems. This is plenty of weapon damage. You will not have any issues killing anybody. So yeah, that is what the stat profile looks like. In terms of champion points, we are doing 66 points into Master at Arms, 37 into Shattering Blows to help you deal with Sorks, and then 25 points into Physical Weapons Expert because it gives you a big DPS increase while you're weaving with Relentless Focus. This just really also just encourages proper weaving because you will see a massive DPS increase from it. 56 into Mighty, 56 into Precise Strikes to help us with our critical damage and critical healing, and then 10 points into Piercing just to give a little bit more physical penetration for those tanky targets. 66 points into Ironclad, 32 into Resistance, 66 into Thick Skin because there's a lot of bleed bills running around, 43 into Hardy and Elemental Defender, and then nothing in there. In terms of our green CP, we have 56 into Warlord, 16 into Sprinter, 37 into Arcanist, 64 into Mooncalf, 66 into Tumbling, and 11 into Befoul to just help out with that in-cap defile a little bit. But I think I pretty much covered everything. Like I said, the biggest combo I could recommend for this build, people always ask, burst combos. You can kill so many ways on a Stamblade. But like the ultimate combo, okay, is hit somebody with a surprise attack, okay? Hit somebody with a surprise attack, then hit them with an incapacitating strike, then hit them with an Assassin's Scourge once you build it up. And then if they don't die, Killer's Blade should do the job. Past that, there's so many different ways to kill people. There's so many different things to do. Obviously, when the first thing you need to do before you get in combat is rally, relentless focus, place down your shade wherever you want it, and then poison injection. Then you can, hit stealth, flip to your front bar, and if you can just run up to somebody, you can hit surprise attack, or you can gap close, start hitting away on them with the light attacks and surprise attacks. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but that's basically, your basic way to start the fight. Maintain shuffle, obviously, for that major evasion, and then use it to escape routes. One thing that I used to have a really bad habit of, and still kind of do sometimes, is if I do feel that I'm rooted and I'm having trouble getting out of situations, I'll just repeatedly dodge roll as if that's just going to do something. But the best thing to do is to use shuffle, then dodge roll, and then sprint away. Now, the best time to dodge roll, while dodge rolling on your front bar is beneficial, dodge rolling on your back bar is the way to do it because one of the bow passives gives you major expedition when you dodge roll. So like I said, if you're in a really, shitty situation, you're out here, you're fighting, right? Maybe your shade is out of range or it's down. Just hit shuffle, dodge roll, and just run for your freaking life, okay? Now, one thing that will take time to really master and perfect is shade usage. Once you're able to really use and abuse your shade, you can do absolutely disgusting things with it and just freaking juke people out of their shorts. You can do crazy, crazy stuff with Shadow Image, and it really allows you to LOS and gives you the mobility that you need to be able to fight solo in Cyrodiil. It just, and in Battlegrounds. It just, because if let's say you have a shade down, You have 2 guys over here whacking away on you, and 1 dude's over there standing by your shade like a loser. Teleport back to your shade, then fucking whack away on this guy, in-cap him, dodge roll away, stealth, and then boom! You go right back to it, you know? It gives you another piece of mobility in your toolkit that I definitely recommend using. Otherwise, that is, that's pretty much it, though, I think. If you have any questions about the build, why I'm running certain things, if you need help with any tips or tricks, anything at all, please leave a comment below, and I will be more than happy to help. If you want to see more content like this, see more Stamblade PvP in the future, more MagicK PvP, more ESO guides, and just general great ESO content, I would appreciate if you hit that sub button, as well as hit the little bell to make sure that you keep notifications on. Also, big shout outs to Moontan and to Grim Hollow for helping me with the theory crafting on this. I bounced a lot of questions and bounced a lot of ideas off them, and they helped me a lot with kind of smoothing out the build and making some decisions when deciding between enchants and gear setups and stuff. So thanks to those 2 guys for the assistance. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm Dottz Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.